Well, what does the soloist think about some of those same questions? Because they obviously have very strong implications, particularly for a tenor who has to go out there and hold a whole evening intact with just, as one writer said, 2 pieces of gristle in there. And another writer has written about the heroic madness of the tenor going after impossible notes. I have the feeling from having watched Luciano Pavarotti rehearse the last few days that he has an extraordinary sense, a precise sense of what his resources are, and that the likelihood of his doing something like that Parmese experience with La Boheme, breaking on a high note, is very, very low. He seems to know exactly where he is at any given moment in rehearsal, in resting, in planning, in training. But nonetheless, the risk hangs there in the air and must always confront any performer who has to carry so much on his own back at any one given time. In any case, just about the time that Zubin Mehta and I were finishing that conversation out in Central Park, the airplane bringing Luciano Pavarotti over from Italy was starting, as they say, its descent into the New York area, and I went over and had an hour's conversation with them about these wonderful questions of collaboration and risk. Here's part of it. Luciano, when you're working with a conductor who's a superb artist like Zubin, is there a subordination of one musical will to the other? Does somebody have to be the boss and make the key decisions?
There is certain conductor and certain singer, then they are so different. Then one of the two must be the boss, and generally he's the conductor. But with a musician like Zubin, I have the feeling then I am totally free, and I'm sure he has the feeling to conduct me. Because I think we understand each other very well.
Is it possible for you to make good music working with colleagues whom you in fact don't like very well, but who may be very brilliant?
Well, I'm telling you, if they are very brilliant, I love them, if they are my colleague.
But suppose they're really rotten and they're cruel and they're thoughtless but they just happen to be great musicians.
Just happened once, and we still on the stage did work very well.
So the music can become the discipline.
Nothing to do with the person. Then if you want, you don't work anymore with that person. Mm-hmm. But the moment you are there and you think that the person is really a very good colleague, I mean a good singer, not a good colleague in terms of, and you appreciate that person, like live singer, you forget every other thing.
Debussy said that the crowd for a virtuoso performance is a bit like the crowd at a circus. There's always the hope that something dangerous is going to happen.
Oh, that is for sure. Well, in that terms, let's say that the voice of the tenor alone is already something dangerous, because it's a little artificial, and then there is so various difficulty that make the tenor voice more seducing than certain other voices. Yeah. In my opinion, of course. But I think that is the main reason. And when I am singing, if you tell me that, I don't like, because, like I told you, I just prepare myself very normally, and I don't pretend to break the word. I don't pretend really to impress anybody. I just pretend to do good, to do the best that I can. Mm-hmm. But don't scare me. I don't need.
There's a tremendous amount to remember.
Yes.
Do you ever suddenly fear you're going to forget?
Well, don't tell me that, please.
Oh, God, I'm sorry. Strike that question.
No. It's very good. It's a very good question, but don't tell me in terms of don't scare me more than I need.
I'm sure I didn't need to. But do you have a sense of going into a kind of athletic thing where there's that joy of the body, the joy of almost a physical contest?
Yes, a physical contest. I was a sportsman when I was young, before beginning this beautiful profession like student. If you really want to know, I think then be the very bottom of every singer, especially when they they grow too much. There is an athlete there. You have to do the life of an athlete. You have to do a very stay in exercise like a student.
In training.
And in training, let's say a singer of 60, 65, 70, I saw people singing on the stage until that age. They still feel young, and they are judged like they are young. Mm-hmm. In fact, if they don't sing well, they say he's old, even not thinking what age it is. The voice is coming old, even if somebody is 40 or 50.
One of the great English poets, Andrew Marvell, who is trying to persuade in this poem his young lover to be cooperative, says, "At my back I always hear time's winged chariot hurrying near." I'm wondering if you have a sense of time coming up behind you pretty fast.
Oh, yes.
Is that bad?
Are you joking?
No, I'm not joking. I'm serious.
For example, I have the feeling that I must die. That is the most horrible feeling. Then going close to the 50, I'm 47. You really begin to think, God, we are going to die. I mean, die not for a car accident. Really die because you become old. And you see your father and your mother, then they are not dying, but they are 70, 72. My grandmother, my grandfather, they're dead, And you realize at this age, then you are really going that. You would like very much then the time stop in this precise moment. You will probably do like Faust. You will sell the soul to him.
For another chance.
Yes, well, that is impossible, of course. But yes, I have this feeling, and that is the general feeling of the life. Then is, of course, slowly by little going to the end. Mm-hmm. And I realize then before that, the voice is going to end, because you don't sing until the last day of your life, unless you are very lucky, like very few singers and they die singing. I think they were very lucky. I mean, if they die at 60, 70, something like that, it's too soon, but it's better like that, probably. I think it's definitely better to die, like I say, young, because until you are singing, you are young.
People respond to that sense of the approach of time's winged chariot in two different ways. Some by saying, okay, I'll slow down, I'll just measure things out with a little more space, and others say, I've got to pack in everything while there's still any time left.
Yeah,
what are you like in that regard?
I cannot run quicker than I have done, because I since 22 years ago, when I sang for the first time on the stage, I really don't know what is the word holiday.
Mm-hmm. Doesn't seem very long, does it? 22 years?
No, it doesn't seem very long, but seems very long, I believe. Yeah. I have a lot of picture, and I can't see myself. Slowing down is difficult. It's difficult because, of course, you are in demand, and like I told you, is the profession that we want to do with all our power, but not now, even 10 years ago, even 20 years ago.
I was always baffled, for example, when Horowitz disappeared for 6 or 8 or 9 years. Yeah. Remember that?
Yes.
You wouldn't do that.
You cannot do it.
You can't do it as a singer.
No, you cannot do it at my age anyway, because if you disappear for 6 or 7 years at the age of 47, you cannot come back at the age of 55 to 56 in good form. Well, it would be a miracle.
Do you have to sing every day?
I will not try to do that.
No, but do you have to sing every day?
Practically.
What happens if you don't? I mean,
well,
do you get out of...
No, nothing special. I mean, if I have 3 days between the performance, the day after the performance, I always close.
Rest, total
rest, yeah. Mm-hmm. But then then 2 days after, I begin again, the day of the performance again, and well, like I told you, I feel I am a student. I'm not at school because the teacher is not in the other room, but I have that animal with all these white teeth. You see, the piano is really barking at me, sometimes biting.